More than just a New York State parent and special education teacher, our next speaker is also one of the co-founders of the New York State Allies for Public Education and has been an outspoken critic of the impact of high-stakes testing in Common Core on students with disabilities. Bianca, Tanis.
I made it without falling. All students with disabilities deserve the opportunity to go to college if they choose to. I think that's the one point that Arne Duncan, John King, and Andrew Cuomo and I can agree on, and that's where it ends. If a child were struggling to reach an apple hanging from a branch, these men would respond by lifting the branch to a more rigorous height and congratulate themselves on teaching the child resilience and grit. The difference between these men and real educators, who I would loosely define as individuals who actually have some teaching experience, is that the educator would give the child a ladder and move on to teaching and learning. This year, parents of disabilities let John King, Arne Duncan, and Andrew Cuomo know that we reject their brand of magical thinking, one-size-fits-all criteria for success. We let them know that our children will reach their potential and will experience success, not because of a set of new, bogus, experimental standards, but because of creative, invested teachers. These are dedicated educators with the sort of skills and traits that cannot be tested or quantified. We made it clear that we will fight for teachers who have been deemed ineffective simply because they took on the challenging work of teaching students who need the most support. Parents of students with disabilities are fierce. We are used to advocating for our children on a daily basis. You can't wear us down and we don't give in. And unlike Arne, John, and Andy, we research tirelessly and we believe in empirical evidence, not hype. We know that developmentally inappropriate is not a euphemism for harder, but rather it's indicative of the incompetence of those creating education policy. And just like our children, we speak the plain, blunt truth. And the truth is, if you think you can set our kids up for failure to teach them perspective, think again. You may think that we're loud in your face now, but we're only going to get louder. A few weeks ago, some elementary school students with disabilities sat for 3 hours of testing, 3 days in a row, for the second time this year. And if they happen to be English language learners, they sat for even more testing. They may have missed gym or snack. They may have heard their friends outside playing on the playground while they struggled to take a test that nobody can see or talk about. Yet Arne Duncan, John King, and Andrew Cuomo did nothing. Andrew Cuomo, the lobbyist for children, did nothing. And who stood up for these kids? You did. We did. It doesn't take inferential thinking and deductive reasoning to conclude that this is child abuse. And if you hurt one of our children, you hurt all of our children. Children are not acceptable losses. They are not collateral damage. Yet somehow we are expected to accept that this is the price of a public education. As we commemorate Brown versus the Board of Education, we are reminded that when we deny any child their dignity, their unalienable right to feel safe in school, and their right to learn, free from harassment and intimidation, then we break the promise of public education, and we dishonor those that have fought tirelessly and championed civil rights. Tens of thousands of parents refuse the test, not only for the sake of their own children, but because as a society we cannot abide this form of institutionalized bullying. They say their reforms create equality, but we know that the achievement gap is widening. They call for accountability and responsibility while taking none. And then they deny our schools equitable funding. They say they are creating opportunity while we know that they are hurting real children in real time. They say that their tests are good indicators of student learning while teachers and principals forced into silence are taking to the street to say otherwise. They set our kids up for failure in the name of teaching them perspective. They say that the job of our schools is to create career and college-ready students. We say the job of our schools is to respect and honor the unique set of strengths, experiences, and interests that every child brings through the door of their classroom every single day. lot of things, but we have spoken louder and smarter, and we will continue to refuse, and we will continue to fight. And just remember in November, no mo Cuomo! No mo Cuomo!